All right, good evening. Mr. Byron, you want to lead us in a prayer, please, sir? Amen. Pledge, Alderman Court, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank y'all. If y'all don't mind, Alderwoman Chasson has another engagement. If y'all don't mind doing community economic development first.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Hello? Hello. Okay. The Community and Economic Development Committee will come to order, and there is a quorum present. Let me take a look at this agenda. So there are no action items, and I have some reports on things that are coming up within the community. So from the City of Crowley Tourism Director, the Rice City Car and Tractor Show will be held on Saturday, April 18th, from 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. on our historic Main Street. Live music will be provided by Bubba Bear, Alfred Doucette, and Adam Leger. Please continue to clean up Crowley and plan to join the City of Crowley and the Community Development Association during Keep Louisiana Beautiful's Love the Boot Week for a cleanup day on Saturday, April 25th. Volunteers should meet at the new Urban Park and Pavilion at 10 a.m. Help keep our city beautiful, protect drainage, and create a cleaner and healthier environment. Bring your friends and make a difference. Cleanup supplies will be provided. From Crowley Main Street staff and volunteers are gearing up for a Taste of Crowley to be held on Thursday, March 26. This year's new location, the International Rice Festival Building, will provide space for more restaurants and seating for guests. The Small Business Marketing Training Session number 4, scheduled for March 19th from 5 until 7 p.m. at Crowley City Hall, will focus on email marketing. These training sessions are being brought to you by a grant to Crowley Main Street and are free for all businesses in Crowley. Main Street staff will attend the Louisiana Preservation Conference in Hammond on March 27th. To maximize efforts, Main Street has also registered a cleanup event with Keep Louisiana Beautiful's Love the Boot Week. The cleanup event will take place downtown on Saturday, April 18th, after the city's Car and Tractor Show. From the Acadia Parish Chamber of Commerce, Wednesday, March 18th is their Acadiana Quarterly Big Reach Small Budget Digital Marketing at the Chamber office. That's a breakfast beginning at 7:30 a.m. Seating is limited, so you'll need to register with the Chamber for that. Thursday, March 26th is the State of the Parish at the Grand Opera House of the South. Doors open at 11:30 a.m. The program will begin at noon. On March 27th, they're having business and bingos at Bingle Stadium at LSUE. Chamber member business after hours, but bring the family. Networking is from 4:30 until 6 o'clock p.m. The baseball game begins at 6 p.m. Registration is required in advance. Also, the Acadia Parish Honors Banquet date has been changed. That's going to be Thursday, May 21st, and that's at the Grand Opera House of the South. From the Crowley Garden Club, the March meeting was held today at the home of Marlene Brantley. The program was on the 3 flower show designs that will be featured at the Garden Club Flower Show that will be held in April. From the West Crowley Beautification Committee, Dr. Rezora Proctor notes that members of the West Crowley Beautification Committee continue working hard on the Dr. Martin Luther Park King Jr. Park to keep it trash-free with special emphasis on its surroundings on West Hutchison Avenue. Headed by Mr. Calvin Ardwan, the 10th Annual Acadia Youth Summit will be held on Saturday, March 21st, and will include presentations from state and local leaders, community members, and others. A community parade will begin at 11 a.m. with the summit scheduled to begin at noon at the Crowley Middle School on Northern Avenue. City of Crowley Historic Commission met on February 11th with a light agenda. The commission welcomed representatives from CASH who presented their design plans and intent for a proposed handicapped accessible park within historic Levy Park. The organization shared conceptual plans and discussed their vision for creating an inclusive space for children of the community with accessibility concerns. The commission expressed its support for improved accessibility while also emphasizing the importance of ensuring that the design remains sensitive to the historic character of Levy Park and its surrounding district. Commissioners encouraged thoughtful planning that enhances the park and complements the historic district, preserving its integrity and visual character. Additionally, members of the Crowley Historic District Commission will attend the upcoming Louisiana Trust for Historic Preservation Conference in Hammond on March 26th and 27th. This conference provides valuable training on topics critical to historic preservation and offers opportunities to collaborate with preservation professionals from across the state. Attendance also satisfies the annual training requirement for Historic District Commissioners. The next meeting of the Crowley Historic District Commission is scheduled for Wednesday, March 11th at 5 p.m. in the City Hall Conference Room. Crowley Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority. As they transition into the spring season, the ladies of Delta Sigma Theta are excited to announce the following initiatives that continue their commitment to service, sisterhood, and community impact. This spring, they will focus on these two signature programs designed to educate, empower, and bring joy to the families they serve. First is a financial literacy workshop, a youth-centered session that introduces thinking basics, credit awareness and protection, budgeting and savings, and healthy financial habits to support lifelong success. Presented by Marcus White, certified financial planner with Edward D. Jones, this educational session will be held on Sunday, March 15th, 2 p.m. at 709 West 5th Street. And there is a community Easter egg hunt, a festive family-friendly gathering for children ages 3 through 12 that brings community together for celebration, connection, and springtime fun. That will be held on Sunday, March 22nd, 3 p.m. at the Martin Luther King Jr. Community Center. And the other thing that we have been announcing is the 48th Grand Cotillion. That's going to be on Saturday, April 25th from 6 until 11 p.m. at the Rice Festival Building. So is there Easter egg hunt? There's something different. Oh, so sorry, thank you. Crowley Police Department is also having a community Easter egg hunt, and that's going to be on March 28th. That's at 1 o'clock p.m. at Levy Park. Free admission, open to all ages, meet and greet with officers, games and prizes, snacks and refreshments, and I'm wondering if the chief is going to be the bunny. Just wondering. Just wondering.
I'm not sure. I think that uniform might be a little big for me.
You know, I'm still having a flashback from when my daughter was in kindergarten and I had to be the bunny because I was the only one that could fit in the suit, and it was really hot inside there. So there's that. Is there anything else that we need to discuss with community and economic development? With that, the committee will recess. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. The fire chief also has another meeting to attend, so if y'all don't mind, Mr. Core, you want to do public safety next?
I sure can, Mayor. Let's see. Okay, I'll call to order the Public Safety Committee meeting We have a quorum present, and we'll begin with Fire Chief Louis Romero. We'll move you first, since I know you have an engagement.
Good afternoon. Thank y'all for letting me go first. I got a meeting at 6 and I got a meeting at 7. I gave y'all our call-out sheets. I'm combining January and February. So in those 2 months, we ran a total of 99 calls, of which those calls, 13 was hazardous conditions, 47 rescue and EMS calls, 14 false alarms, 13 fires, 9 good intent calls, and 3 to support law enforcement. Our response time for January and February was 3 minutes and 33 seconds. Update on the tower truck. They got the spindle fixed. They went to do the UL testing on the aerial, and either we got a communication error between the joystick and the computer, or we got a joystick problem. So they are trying to find a remedy to the problem. So the tower truck's still not fixed. I just got off the phone before coming to this meeting with Mr. Nolan LeBlanc. Me and the mayor is probably going to go either next week or the week after to South Dakota to do a final inspection on a new squad truck. That truck is complete. I do have pictures. I can email them y'all. Email them to y'all if y'all want to see it. The number of employees we have at the fire department, I started hiring yesterday. I think he went this morning to take his drug test and start his blood work. Jacob Maubert from Rain. He's going to be coming on the fire department, and we're about to lose one. Phoebe Spell turned in a 2 weeks notice, and she's going to be going to Lafayette fire. So we're going to have another opening. If y'all know somebody looking for a job as a firefighter, tell them to come talk to me. Any questions for me?
Chief, is being a firefighter as good as being a police officer? Oh. I'm joking.
So I don't have invitations yet. They're being printed. But April 10th, you and your spouse, Tessa, that goes for you. Mike, that goes for you. Mr. Tim, if you want to come. Troy, that goes for you. Mayor and all the council. Annual crawfish ball at the fire department. All I need is the RSVP. I'm going to put invitations in your box probably this week or next week at City Hall, but contact me or Heidi for RSVP so we know how many people to cook for.
Chief, I just want to point out the squad truck he is talking about is going to replace one of the 2 newest old trucks, if you will. The 2 trucks that are at Central that look alike. This new squad truck will replace one of those. It's a smaller body and frame. It's more efficient to operate than an actual engine with a pump on it, which is not needed in the way that the chief has the fire department structured. It's also it also has been purchased with monies from Representative John Stefanski was able to get us some monies a couple of years ago, and that's how that truck has been funded. So that was no city funds for that truck. That's $330,000 truck, I think it was. $350,000 truck. So.
And it took. At the end of this month, that truck will be on order for 2 years.
Yeah.
So it's been 2 years that truck's been on order.
Yep.
We've been waiting.
You know? So, any questions? Thank you all.
Thank you, Chief. Next, we'll move to Chief of Police Troy Abear's report.
month of February, we answered 687 calls, issued 102 traffic violations, 575 TED enforcement violations. We made 68 total arrests, 3 of which were for attempted second-degree homicide. Like we said, on March 28th, we happened to put on our first ever Easter egg hunt. We're glad to do that. We're hoping everybody shows out. That pretty much ends my report.
Any
there
questions
any
for Chief? Thank you, Chief. Now we'll move to our city inspector's report. Marty DeRussell.
Good evening. Just getting right into our stats from the month of February. We had 8 calls for dead animals, 8 calls for loose cats, 20 calls for loose dogs, 1 animal bite investigation. We had no wildlife issues, 1 animal cruelty complaint, 5 calls for cat traps. We did not seize any animals in the month of February, but 3 in-house required veterinary treatment for sickness or injury. We took in a total of 5 dogs, and 4 of those were rehomed or reclaimed, and 12 dogs in the shelter in the month of February, by the month's end. Cats, we had 6 taken in, 3 rehomed or reclaimed, and 10 in shelter. And again, as mentioned, the 1 citation issued on the animal cruelty complaint. We have our 2 volunteers that I mentioned last month. They put in we started to kind of track, just out of curiosity, their hours and their time of service in our shelter, and they put in a total of 23 hours last month. And this is 1 full-time college student with a part-time job who also runs her own nonprofit, and it's a full-time nurse who the 2 of them together volunteer at our shelter. So they're providing a big lift in a lot of things at our shelter. So as the time of the compilation of the report, our shelter was at the lowest number of dogs that we'd seen in 6 months. So
Wow.
that was really, really good news. But now we have a large number of cats that have found their way into the shelter. Moving on to code enforcement, we've received all our new equipment that's been ordered that was approved in November last year. And we are gearing up for the spring season. You probably have already, I know I've talked to a few of you about some of the yards out in the community. You're going to start to see that really green, really thick growth coming up. And our plan of attack is this month is kind of the get out of jail free card, where we'll have the conversations before we really start sending out enforcement letters in April. Nobody really wants to make that first cut in the springtime, but then once you do, you realize it's not that bad. And so we're going to give them a little bit of chance to get on task, and then if not, we'll send some notices. We also, too, in the next couple of months, we'll be chatting about some ordinance amendments that we're making, tackling blight properties, junk vehicles being the biggest thing. So I'm excited that our attorney has been doing some great work with that behind the scenes to get those amendments kind of in a position that we feel comfortable utilizing here in the city of Crowley. What that's going to do is that's going to give some teeth to really attack some of the junk properties with junk vehicles and things like that. And so I'll be happy when that time comes to discuss that, the pros and cons of both sides, where we are and where we want to go. Getting into the stats for code enforcement, tall grass, we sent 3 notices and 3 properties were cut by the city. We sent 6 notices for trash and rubbish. We did pick up several more trailer loads of tires. I have no idea where these tires are coming from, but they're popping up everywhere. Maybe we should stop, because maybe everybody's telling, he just dropped the tires off in Crowley. They'll pick them up. Abandoned vehicles, we sent out 3 notices. In total, it was about 15 cars between 3 properties. So I'm waiting right now. I ordered some new window stickers that we tag cars, kind of like what the police department does, but for the code enforcement side, we put a very high-vis tag on that car that's really difficult to get off. But we tag them to give them an extra layer of notification aside from the letter and everything else. I'll be honest with you, currently, right now, again, with not a whole lot of teeth in the ordinance, there's not a whole lot of pushback I can give. But just so you know, if you start seeing cars with these highlighter green tags on them, that's going to come from the Code Enforcement Department. Demolitions, we had 5 permits secured, 5 demos, I'm sorry. We had 1 prohibited use of camper notice, 1 dead tree notice, and 1 pool fence notice. We're starting to see, and I hope whoever's paying attention or tuning in tonight can kind of help spread the word. We're starting to see these smaller above-ground pool kits popping up in the city. And for the city, we've adopted the IRC through the state of Louisiana that there is a requirement to have a fence around anything over 24 inches high. And so I understand the desire to want to have a cool and refreshing place during the summertime, but we will be sending out these notices because it is a hazard for open area properties to have these pools, and there's a risk for neighborhood kids to fall in and be unable to come out. So since this writing, I've sent out 2 more because they just kind of keep popping up. So if you don't mind spreading the word as often as you can, anything over 24 inches, above ground pool, in-ground pool, doesn't matter, is required to have a fence. We are waiting right now for the compilation of our second round of private leak notices to send out. As soon as we get that compiled, we're going to send that out. I'm also waiting on the door tags, the door hangers that were ordered to come in so that we can go back behind the first batch of notices we sent out and tag those doors at every house that hasn't responded. And after talking with Mr. Mader, it's just showing due diligence on the city's part to say we've sent letters, we've waited, we've tagged the door, the attorney sends a letter, and so it'll satisfy DEQ's requirement of us. Flood management, provided BFE and flood zone information on 1 property. Permits, we had 54 total issued last month. 1 new construction, you have the address listed there. There were 12 building permits issued, 26 electrical, 3 gas, 4 for the generator install, 4 demos, 3 fence permits, 1 sign permit. And in planning and zoning, provided information on zoning confirmation letter on 1 property and conducted our monthly outfall inspections for stormwater management. Any questions?
Step?
Sorry I'm late. Calcasieu Parish, man. I love it, but I hate it. All right, Tony. Lord, calling you Tony, man. I know today's a bad day. Listen, I was approached, Byron, I guess he approached you as well. I need you to, can y'all hear me? Because I gave a speech today and had too many answers to questions. Define junk car, a junk car.
That's what we're in the process of remedying with the new ordinance.
Okay.
So right now, the ordinance we have in place right now basically would require me to hire a mechanic to follow me to a property.
Exactly.
So he can give an estimate to get the vehicle back up and running. Then I have to take that estimate, compare it to the Blue Book value, and if the cost to repair is more than the cost of the car, then I can tow it.
Yeah, but you also, you missed a component. You got to talk to an owner.
Yeah, well, that's after
okay.
notification, of course,
Look,
yes.
what you're talking about, I traveled the state talking about that. Listen, and I'm saying this FYI to everyone, okay? This is the way, being in my business, this is how we look at things. First of all, you can look at a house that's totally messed up all on the outside. See what I'm saying? But if you go inside, you can stand up, jump up, or what have you. That floor is a solid foundation, and it's not leaking. We cannot determine whether that house needs to be tore down or not, for the simple reason. You don't know how much money that the owner have. In other words, I've learned one thing about, and I'm speaking to me, don't tell me, I know it's gonna cost too much. You don't know what I got, okay? So I think we need to emphasize with these cars, and I'm glad you taking the bull, no, well, we ain't gonna say the bull, now leave the bull out of this, that you're taking the initiative, okay, to go around and talk to people, because a few of them told me, said, you've been coming in, man, Marty, making me understand what's going on, okay? But I have to tell you this, man, And with all due respect to everything that you're doing, listen, the city of Crowley been letting things roll over for so long. And just to drop the bomb right, Lord, I didn't mean bomb. Drop all this on the owners. We have to figure out a way that we can work with them, man. Because I'm going to tell you right now, this is how we look at it. If the owner of the vehicle has the title, first of all, you got the registration showing ownership. And like you just hit a component that I didn't know about the mechanic going, is that to see if the car is running or just to make an analysis of what it would take to get the car running?
So technically, that's to deem the car junk or inoperable,
Okay, so you would make that decision, or mechanic?
based off of what the mechanic says, as
Right.
opposed to the blue book value of the car.
Okay.
The common sense approach is if somebody's got a car sitting on their lot for 20 years,
Right.
and they haven't attempted to fix it, chances are, it'll be there in 20 years from now. You know what I mean?
Hey, watch out now.
And so if somebody says, hey, listen, I had a conversation with a lady
Right.
off of Hutchinson that said, this is an issue, I know it's an issue, but I'm working on it. I'm good with that. I'll give you some time. It's the main thing is if people end up with a letter from our office, from the code enforcement office, and they need to find out information, they are welcome to call me.
Well, that's what I've been telling them. I said, the first thing I said, before you dial 911, dial 611. You say, what you mean? So dig it up first. Get some digging going on. And those don't know what 611 is. Isn't that the uniform code to before you dig? Okay, I just want to make sure. All right, man. Thank you. But yeah, okay. So in other words, it's a work in progress.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Thank you,
Yes,
Steve.
ma'am.
We have a question from Aldo
I know,
Chasson.
I'm sorry. I know that you're looking at tall grass now, and something that we talked about last week that continues to be an issue is Starbucks and T-Mobile, the owner of that shopping center, isn't real quick to do that. So if you'll just pay attention.
Yeah,
That's
so
a good story.
Yeah, we had the same day that I went over there and talked to both managers from the Starbucks and the T-Mobile to say, hey, listen, this is not going to be coming after you guys. Y'all are the tenants, and it's probably not your responsibility. But I'm searching for the property management company. I ended up calling and leaving a message and waited days, and no one's called back. But in the meantime, the bank for the property called, and I was able to have a conversation with them, and they were made aware of the issues, and they promised that these issues would not carry forward.
So I have been there myself, speaking to the managers who don't know how to get in touch with the owner. And I remember sitting in a meeting when he was building that shopping center and was very proud of that, but they have not taken care of that. That's the entrance to our city, and it looks awful. So thank
Yes,
you
you're
so
welcome.
much.
Yes.
Marty, Brad, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Has that property been redeemed?
Yes, it has.
Okay.
Yes.
That property was actually adjudicated by the city in the previous tax sale. Now, it has since been redeemed, obviously because of some of the phone calls that Marty made and the work that he did. But, so there's probably more trouble there than the grass, but Marty is certainly been on top of it and working with them to make sure that they understand that they need to keep that property cut and clean. One other thing I want to mention, Marty was talking about blighted properties and all. We do have a list now of properties that are ready to be demolished by the city, that have gone through the process, through the court process, through notifications. They've been given their time. They've been given an extra 10 days and all this other stuff. And it is time to actually demolish them. But what I'm doing is waiting a few months to be able to get a number of properties on the list to be able to do that. Because what we did last time is we had 10 properties, 11 structures on 10 properties, and we leased an excavator, and mostly Wesley and I went out there and demolished these homes. But I don't want to lease a piece of machinery for 3 or 4 homes. So we're gonna wait for a number of properties to be on this list as ready to demolish, and then we'll go through the same process again. So, some of the properties that you see that you're maybe wondering where they're at in the process, call Marty and Code Enforcement Office, and they'll explain to you where some of these properties are. But we are still working on, going through the process of demolishing. With that being said, legislative session started on yesterday, and I went to Baton Rouge yesterday and spent the day there yesterday and today. Alderwoman Marks shadowed me over there, and I was excited to learn today. I was able to meet with our with LMA's lobbyist and our attorney, and then of course Cliff Palmer there. We all got to visit with each other. But there is legislation that is going to go through the state level specifically for blighted properties. And it's supposed to help the municipalities our size with dealing with them. So I don't know a whole lot about it yet. And obviously today is day 2 of legislative session, so there's not a whole lot of information to give on it. But I'm excited to know that on the state level there's some blighted property stuff that's coming up. So, Mr. Core.
I'm sorry. You just hit a trigger point. Anytime you mention Lamette or Cliff Palmer, Brad, you know what you know what I'm talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, anytime you mention that organization, I am on the state board of Lamette, so I have to, and this is everywhere, to identify myself. So thank you for that, Mayor. I am a member of the Lamette Board of Directors. They just tell us to do that. So if anything said or mentioned about Lamette or Cliff Palmer, that's what we do. Thank you.
Thank you, Step. Mr. Reg, I think you had a question.
Yeah, my question was, could we get a list or email of the ones that are tearing down next? Whenever you'll get to it.
I'll send it out for everyone to have. Yes.
Marty, I just want to thank you and our city attorney, Michael Landry, for all of the efforts with discussing the updating, amending the ordinance for the junk vehicles, use of roadways by large trucks and so forth. I know I've been kind of hounding both of you, and I appreciate all that you're doing and look forward to moving forward with it.
Yeah, no problem. It's mostly Michael, if I'm gonna be honest. I'm sitting here telling him what I want to do, and a lot of times he has to say, no, you can't do that. Yeah. I'm like, well, then find a way that I can.
And y'all ought to see the timestamp on some of these emails. And, 10:30,
Yes.
11 o'clock at night, Mike's sending emails out to us.
It's very much appreciated. Sure, Step.
It's summertime. Marty, what is the pavilion of selling on parking lots, on Parkinson? Because let me tell you something, it's starting to bombard me. I don't know if y'all been getting it, but they asking. Okay? In other words, O'Reilly's, all right? O'Reilly allows people to barbecue, whatever, on their parking lot, okay? Well, there's some businessmen, and whoever it is, everybody got a pretty good idea, okay? If O'Reilly's allow an individual to sell on their lot, where do you come in at?
Peddler's license. So there was a meat company that was selling off of the O'Reilly's lot. They did get a permit. They did get a peddler's permit, which is good for 3 10-day periods in a calendar year. So they've come in, they've done 10 days at O'Reilly's. The manager contacted me yesterday and said, hey, we have another location we're looking at. Is that am I still good to go on that permit? I said, when you get there, and then you'll have one 10-day cycle left on that.
Basically, what you're saying is, all they have to do to be legal is to get the peddler's license?
So that's food that's not prepared. So if you have If you're preparing food, now you're talking about the Board of Health, there's other
Well,
requirements.
that's where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going. I'm not
Yeah.
talking about sealed, products. I'm talking about cooking and what have you.
Right.
Because where do we fall at on the liability, standpoint? If there is, because this is the way I look at it. And I've checked around, I talked to members of the LMA, and they all seem to think the same thing. If you own O'Reilly's parking lot, you under their jurisdiction. So that means their insurance should be covering you. Okay? That's the way I look at it. Now, legal, unless you got a different situation or different definition, now's the time to say it. Because let me tell you something, people are starting right now to fill up those books.
So I'm not sure what specifically your concern is, but in
The
terms of
concern is, the concern is some people were told that they could not sell on their lot, okay? And they got permission from headquarters or whatever to sell, okay? Now, if I own my property, you ain't gonna tell me what to do with my property, okay? But it seems that every time someone tries, whether it's foundation or whatever it may be, what is the deal with that? Because to me, and I don't know how y'all feel about it, if these people are not hurting nobody, and I mean, they're taking a chance selling food anyway. You know what I'm saying? They're taking a chance. So that's the reason why I'm asking this, because I had 3 people I need to report to when I leave from here with that. So
Well, I mean,
that's the
they
question.
have to comply with state sanitary code, and, I mean, that's primarily what
But
their
they
obligation
done
is.
that.
if they're
They got the
preparing-
hot water.
if they're preparing
They have
food.
the different 3-compartment sink, because O'Reilly's check that themselves. Before you get on their property, they check it themselves. So with that being said, if they over there and they in compliance, city's hands off?
Well, you have different, so you have your peddler's permit, you have we have a food truck permit, right, for food
Right.
trucks.
Right.
So like nonprofits and stuff like that, totally different ballgame. So
Well,
if you're
that's the
talking
main
about,
thing we talking about, nonprofits. I'm not
Yes.
worried about somebody going,
so what's required of our food truck vendors, anyone with an occupational license
Right.
or a peddler's license, is they have to do the tax clearance form from the school board, provide proof of liability insurance policy, all of that. And so the difference is we don't go after those nonprofits in that same manner
Well,
because
but-
they're not in the business of making money. you
right,
know,
but
they're-
you just hit it on the head. The person that do that is O'Reilly's. O'Reilly's have the certification of their insurance. I don't know who would be their go-to person, PR person, but they're already paying taxes already to the school board.
Well, O'Reilly's and O'Reilly's Insurance would not be liable for, if someone got sick eating a rotten
Well, that's-
hamburger.
Right.
I mean, so they're not an employee or otherwise, O'Reilly's wouldn't be vicariously liable for the actions of that entity, so.
Well, with all due respect, I think we need to let them people, because like I said, they going by their own ingredients, taking a chance, like those saying, sun shining in the morning, it pours down raining. That's a wrap, okay? I'm just using that as that. And you always tell it like it is. If it's not germane to this, it's not germane to that, you leave it alone. That's the way I'm looking at it. So I hope that the city takes that as no pun intended, as the first step, okay?
Well, I've not had a cause to shut any nonprofit
Okay,
down. And I think
that's all I wanna know.
if you're asking along the lines of if a private business has the ability to tell somebody, no, you can't be on my property, that, yeah, they
Yeah,
do
they-
that.
Well,
that-
yeah, but if they tell you yes, you can, I mean, that's between the property owner and that person, and that
Yeah.
organization.
Yeah.
Okay,
You know,
so
like
we good.
I tell everybody this, the safest and most effective way is to go through the occupational license route, register as a DBA or something like that. You pay $100 and then you have 365 days in a year to do like whatever you want to do, and everything is recorded and legal, and it avoids a lot of he said, she said, and all of the back and forth. But not everybody has the ability to fork up, the money for an occupational license. If it were me, I would, just to have that coverage, just to be able to show that I can go anywhere and do anything in the city, and the city knows I'm paying my due taxes and stuff like that.
All right, final question. Do my podcast need an occupational license?
I don't know. Where those podcasts go? Is your business registered to your home address?
Hey, we ain't going there, I just asked you. Look, I just asked you one question.
Well, we can have some, I got a lot of questions, though. I gotta investigate.
Legal. Do I need an occupational license with my podcast?
Are you getting paid?
Nope.
No, you don't need an
All
occupational
right.
license. It's not a business.
All right, we good then. You heard it. Everybody, y'all heard that, huh? Okay, good. All right, thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, everyone. Okay, next we'll move on to the action items. We have one action item regarding a renewal application by Thin Enterprises DBA Board for Less located at 726 East 2nd Street for a Class B packaged beer and liquor permit for Class B packaged beer and liquor permits. This applicant failed to submit a renewal application by the deadline set forth in the ordinance, which requires submittal of applications prior to the permit's expiration date. The applicant's 2025 beer and liquor permits expired on December 31, 2025, and no permit had been applied for during the renewal period provided by the ordinance. I also understand that they were giving, I think a letter was sent by the city informing them to update to renew their license. Therefore, in my opinion, this request can't be considered a renewal of the prior permit, and that an application for a new permit must be submitted for consideration by the committee. Accordingly, I move to deny the request for a renewal application, recommend this applicant apply for a new permit, and be notified to discontinue the display, sale, and advertising of alcoholic beverages in compliance with the ordinance. As of today, they had a sign, a lighted neon sign indicating Bud Light was for sale. Yeah, it's on the agenda, 726 East 2nd Street. And it's more, they're doing business as More for Less.
That's the service station at the bottom of the bridge, the John and John Bridge. Yes.
I have a motion. Can we get a second, then we can discuss? We have a second by Alderman Dorey. I'm sorry. Okay, discussion. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. And we don't have any discussion items. Anyone from the public wishes to address the committee? With that being none, I will close.
Thank you, sir. Public Works, Alderman Dorey.
Thank you, Mayor. Let the record show.
Moving forward, is there a timeline that we're gonna stick to on that?
Yes, we've had pretty extensive discussions.
No,
As
I
far as
mean-
the liquor permit?
Yeah, like, are y'all setting a certain time on that? Cause I noticed they had a lot of them that were kinda
And
late.
we've had that, and I think the mayor's expressed that we need.
I mean, like next year, are we gonna like give 2 weeks
No.
to some? Or
No.
next year, it's
No,
like flat, if you're a
It-
week late, you don't get it?
Well,
they have to reapply?
There's a late penalty. There's penalties for it. And they have to wait for the council meeting for it to go through. They have to get their application in and then wait for the next council meeting. We're not gonna have special meetings for liquor licenses that every year in December in the city of Crowley, beer and liquor permits expire, December 31st, every year. Now, state licenses, and that's where some of the issue is coming in. The beer and liquor distributors don't ask for the city license. They don't ask for it. They ask for the state license. State licenses expire in Acadia Parish. Throughout the state is different dates. For Acadia Parish, for Crowley, the area, it expires in October. So, and they're not all 1-year licenses. There's some 2- and 3-year licenses for the state beer and liquor permits. So what's happening is the state goes in, or they apply for their renewal on their state because the distributors tell them, hey, in October, your license is gonna expire. I need an updated one before October 31st. And so they'll do their application for the state, and the state asks for the city license, so that they can get their state license. Oh, I ain't had a city license in 6 or 8 months, maybe a year, because their state license was a 2-year license. So there's been a couple of
I
them.
get them every month.
There's been a couple of them.
Every month I have them crossing my desk and
Look, we had, our first couple of years, we've called for special meetings to help out businesses that forgot. There's a lot that goes on running a business, a lot. There's occupational licenses, there's liquor licenses, there's just tons of things that happen, and I understand it, I realize that. But, you know, I'll tell you, a lot of you asked, why did we have to come in here for 10 minutes for a meeting to approve a liquor license or two? We're not gonna do it. We're not gonna do it. They're gonna have to wait until the next one. There was a business in town that the CPA actually called me, said, what do we need to do to help this business? I said, we need to explain to them that they have to keep, we send out the notices, we make the phone calls, the city does their due diligence. The first couple of years, we allowed it to happen, and because we shouldn't have to remind you, but the city was falling short on that process, on the reminders and doing the due diligence, okay? That office has gotten much better at that. And so we do our part to help the businesses, remind them and do what needs to be done, and they're gonna have to do their part to get their licensing. So I'm not gonna call y'all in for a special meeting for a beer and liquor license, especially a renewal. You know, there may be situations that, you know, I don't wanna say never, because never's a long time, but there may be situations that a new business may be trying to open up. To me, in that situation, it may be worth calling for a special meeting to get that beer and liquor license for a new business. They're ready to open up. Look, they've put, some of them maybe millions of dollars in invested and they're ready to open, you know, next week. And so there may be situations like that, but for renewal, I mean, most of you have had or have businesses, and you have to take care of your business. And so I think that's where the problem is coming into play, or the reminder is coming into play, is when they go for their state license, and the state says, hey, where's your city license? Oops, I
Is there
didn't
a
renew
certain
it.
time frame to where they can just automatically have to fill out a new one if they're late?
Well, the ordinance requires them to apply for in October, November.
Yes, October, yeah.
Okay, so the notices, so it's a simple matter of them putting it on their calendar, you know, just
No,
like
but
we.
what I'm saying is, if you're gonna renew it, if you missed a renewal date and they come to turn them in and you look at it and you see they passed that renewal date, hey, we no longer can take these renewals, you have to fill out a new one again.
As long as application's in, let's say, prior to December 31.
Yes.
And let's say it sits on your desk for a week, that's not a problem. At least the application was turned in. This application didn't get turned in till sometime in February.
Right, and we
You
get
know?
that a lot.
So, you know,
Major
just-
change that bring them in February and March too.
No, what he's saying is this one came in February of '26.
Yeah, for renewal.
It should have come in October,
October,
November, December of '25.
Right.
And at least before the council meeting in December. Because again, it has to be in, it has to go to your office, and then it has to go to code enforcement before the 3rd Tuesday of December.
And Chief, another thing, you know, they're violating the ordinance by selling without a permit. So when we talk about fines, are you gonna fine them for every day they were open selling advertising and selling alcohol for the duration of, let's say, for instance, this one, 2 months? You're gonna fine them for every day? I mean, that's another strong point I don't wanna see happen, of course. I would rather them put on their calendars and say, you know, in October, submit their application for renewals.
would it help at all if the city license expired at or near the same time as the state license?
I was thinking of that too, but and I'm not sure how the state licenses,
The state license for Acadia Parish is October 31st. Every year, there is someone in Crowley that has a license, that their state license expires in October each year, but there are some two-year,
two-year cycles.
also some two-year cycles for the state also. Now, you know, that's something we can discuss. Do we
But
want
it's
to?
still October 31st.
It's October 31st. Whether it's a two-year or 1 year, it doesn't matter. It's
And I
October
guess from the
31st for the
business
state.
side thinking is that, you know, now I've got two licenses to pay for, you know, or permits.
That's
and
right.
On the same time, but saying just kind of a double whammy, so, you know.
Yes, yes, because the other thing to remember is when they submit their application for a renewal or a new liquor permit, beer or liquor permit, all they pay is the application fee at that time. Then it goes through the process before it gets to council, then it comes to council. Once council approves it, then it goes back to City Hall, and then City Hall calls them and says, your permit has been approved. You can bring your check for $550 to pay for your permit. And then they pay for their permit. So, it kind of gives them I know I enjoyed it because, you know, October was Rice Festival, and so that was some extra income, and then I was able to pay the permit for the city. You know, helped out with that. But anyway, I mean, look, we can change it. I can try and get some historical information on why it's December. It's probably just a calendar year, yeah.
I can tell you why it's December. Because I don't know how you do your taxes, but we pay our corporate taxes in October, okay? So that rounds off with the state. See what I'm saying? That's the reason right there. Now, the reason why it went from, because look, I done own 3 different nightclubs, and I'm going to tell you, there's always the same answer. Hey, man, it's the end of the year. Bless you. It's the end of the year. We let you make that money during the holidays to come pay it. That's the only explanation they ever gave me. I mean, it is what it is. So, just like you said, Rice Festival, I mean, we ain't got a Rice Festival all over Louisiana, but like you said, it fell just on that date. But that's the reason why 31st, because, yeah, well, you know, you in business, the corporate tax, you better have them there.
Sure. Well, thank you, Step. With that said, we will close again.
Thank you, sir. Public Works again, Mr. Doré.
Thank you again, Mayor. I will now open Public Works again and let the records show that a quorum is present. We have Public Works Director Albert John that's absent today.
Albert couldn't, Albert asked if he could be absent today. He's fighting with some back issues again. He told me the only thing he would report would be the I-10 tractor is in the shop to be repaired again. We don't have an estimate on the cost or anything, but it's in the shop to be repaired. And I think Wesley can probably update on anything else over there when he comes up.
All right. And next we have Engineer Mr. Tim Mayer.
Yeah, I have no action items. I believe you all have my report that was emailed to you earlier today. All updates. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me anytime.
Thank you, Tim. And next we have Mr. Wesley Jacob.
Hello, how y'all doing?
Pretty good.
Mayor, I hadn't seen you in a while. Glad you made it back. I asked you a question.
It's been 2 days. You missed me already?
No, I'm asking a question so I can explain later. You know, you've been in Baton Rouge. You remember the last time you saw me?
Sunday, riding around looking at water draining.
Saturday.
Or Saturday, that's what it was.
All right. I say that to say this here.
Because I was doing the same thing.
I told y'all 2 years ago how much I enjoyed this job and I was taking pride in it. now is I need some help. I'm still having a fire, trying to do what I can for the city of Crowley, and for the most part, we're getting the job done. It's just becoming increasingly harder because it's like the more we do, the more is expected, and then the more we have to do, somebody needs us to do. So what I need help with, I don't need money. I need help. I talk to guys like Marty, the department heads. I talk to guys like Marty because I've been coming up with this new problem. Riding around on Saturday, checking the water. After we finish a project, I always go back and look and see, did we succeed? Is the water flowing? Did any trees come down that we had on the list? Whatever the nature of the beast is. And this last weekend, riding around looking, I'm looking at all of the effort that we didn't put in, and I'm noticing a new problem. It's an old problem. But
It's an old problem.
back.
Yes, I know what you're
All
going to
right,
talk.
so my number one problem we back is leaves. Leaves are starting to clog up everything all over again. And so my pros and cons is everybody loves the trees. It's a tree city, and everybody don't want you to touch the trees. But nobody wants to rake up their leaves, and they wind up in the ditch, and then they're clogging it up, and then they're looking at me like, and I'm like, I just spent 6 weeks freeing up all this water, and now it's clogged up again. And then I got one I'm dealing with Marty. Now we're having houses, people are moving, and now we're having people dump stuff on side of the road to be picked up by the parish, but they don't put it in boxes, they don't put it in bags. It's literally clothes and toys, and it's right back in the ditches. So I'll give you an example. We tried our best on Standermere Road. We were there 3 weeks. I called Brad, I said, I might need your help. I might need you out there with your uniform on. It's dangerous. The cars are passing, it's just dangerous. I might need you, but I worked it out. Chief son, police officer, we had 2 units out there to help us out. But we spent 3 weeks out there. It was so bad I had to hire an outside contractor, so that's thousands of dollars. The time and effort, and we got all this done, and then I go back, and I'm not talking about that. It's like we got debris back in the ditches again. So I need a way to not bring it up in here. It's like I really need some help on how we can do it. How can I get a code enforcement to help me get the word out that you can't just drop a load of clothes on the ground because it's going to wind back up in the ditch? So without calling a special meeting, has it ever been heard of the committee ourselves just meet on the side one day and somebody can come up with a solution or give me some help, because I don't know.
So real quick, the committee can't just meet. That's a,
No.
that's a violation of open meetings law. So meetings have to be noticed.
But let me,
That shook me up a little
first,
bit.
let me ask this question, Step. It's kind of a combination of the city and the parish, because the parish had put out some strict rules years ago that it had to be in bags or containers or what have you. Now, your regular garbage goes in a can, of course, but they wouldn't just pick up any old thing laying on the side of the road. And I've seen what he's talking about. It's just lately, I mean, it's in a lot of places that they just throw everything out.
Yeah, I'll tell you that, and I did, you know, you'll catch me some weekends and holidays on the grappler truck, going around picking up trash, because we acquired one of those trucks from the parish. We did a intergovernmental agreement deal with them, and so we have one of those grappler trucks that picks up bulk waste on the side of the road. And people will put trash that can fit in a trash can on the side of the road, not in a trash bag. The problem is if you can put it in a trash bag, then you can put the trash bag in a trash can. It fits in the trash can. If your trash can is overflowing, get a second one. Yes, it's going to cost you. Yes, you've got to call the police jury, the landfill, and order a second trash can, but get a second trash can. We have to have, the problem is our people need to do better. Our people, Wesley does not have, cannot find, and the city cannot afford to hire enough employees to cut the grass, rake the leaves, pick the trash up in everybody's ditch. That is not the city's responsibility. That is our responsibility as residents, as property owners, to keep that. Why would you not want to cut the grass in front of your house, in the ditch in front of your house, or the trash? And the problem is a lot of these properties are rental properties. And this may be a direction to go, something that I'm sure Marty's wheels are turning over there. A lot of these properties are rental properties. And the property owners, the landlords, are not keeping up with it. There was a property by the South Crowley Fire Station that had 3 trash cans out there. They stayed by the road. The trash continued for I don't know how long to blow into the neighbors' yards. None of the trash cans were Acadia Parish trash cans, so the trash trucks were not picking them up. We literally had to call the property owner. I called. I went on the tax assessor's website and found the property owner, and I called them and said, hey, you need to do something with your tenants. They have to keep their trash in a trash can. It's not fair to neighbors who we have people that have clean yards. They keep their yards up. We're not talking about rich people. You ain't got to be rich to keep your yard clean. We're talking about people throughout the city keep their yard up, and then there's this neighbor who doesn't care. And then it goes in the ditches. You want to know what one of the most common things that are stopping up culverts? One of the most common things that are stopping up culverts is trash. Cans, bottles, bags, diapers, trash can covers, big wheels. I'm telling you, trash is the biggest thing in these. We have to educate our people, and we have to get our people on board with keeping our city clean. We have to. We're going to have to find some kind of program that we can get out there to our people and really help them understand that everybody needs to pitch in. And that's what Wesley fights with all the time, with drainage.
That's it. Mr. Martin?
You asked the question. This was about, man, I want to say I was in my 3rd term as council. And Jimbo Pettijohn was LMA's president. And we had a round table discussion in, what's that little town? Well, right before Slidell, there's 2 towns. You go one way, Mandeville and Covington. And they asked at the round table discussion, how do we identify trash? You know, trash bags on the side. You know, people just take the trash and throw it away. What I had recommended, they brought it to the legislators, and they denounced it because of waste. What they call it, waste management. Thank you. What I had proposed was that when you pick up a bag of trash, you open that trash, and if you can find 3 consecutive addresses, in other words, like 929 a water bill, 929 light bill, 929 any bill, that's who gets fined. You see where I'm going with this? You have a right, because it's trash. It's on city property, okay? The ditch is considered city property. Now, I don't know if the council wants to initiate that, but let me tell you something here. it eliminate all that dropping trash, just throwing it on the side of the road, okay? If the police department, Brad, while y'all on patrol, see if somebody dropped a bag, you know, just threw it, open it up. But you got to find 3 of them, 3 consecutive names.
Still,
Face with that.
let me, I don't mean to, and I don't mean to interrupt, but that's not the trash I'm talking about. I'm talking about big piles of trash, like the mayor said. We having that problem is when people emptying out a house, or the running joke in my department right now is it's tax season. They're getting it, so now they're throwing away all the old clothes and TVs and everything, and they're going to buy new. That's the one I'm talking about. That stuff in bulk. I got you. The problem that I'm having, and this is the problem, I can go find all that information. I can't find them. That's not my department. I talk to him all the time, and that's how I know when I sit back and I come to these meetings. I've learned so much in 2 years, and it's a whole lot I gotta learn. I just learned something today, but I'm saying that to say this. We spend time wasting time cleaning up behind our own people when we could actually be out there changing out stop signs and child at play signs and street signs and cutting trees, and we can be doing all of the things that we need to do, that we really want to do. We just don't have the time to do it, because every time we take a step, I hear the reports every day. I got 100 calls, I got this calls, I got 87 calls. I'm almost willing to bet we get at least 10 calls a day by some form or fashion, up to City Hall, my phone, Brent's phone. Council members, y'all know, y'all call me. Mayor, I apologize. I got a text message. I was
You ain't seen me, but you heard from me today, didn't you?
I was in a hole pouring concrete today myself. I'd much rather be doing something like taking them signs that the city of Crowley paid for, to actually have time to go sit there and put them out. But every time we're getting ready to go put them out, I got to go pick up something, because it's going to lead to another problem. It's going to lead to another problem. It's going to lead to another problem. It's like we're going in circles. We're spending so much time doing all that, and we're trying to do it the best we can. I'm going to finish with saying this here. Today I had an incident. Young guy, 18 years old, out of high school, came to me, just showed up at my office looking for work. One thing I can do, my uncles made me cut grass. Nice fella, polite, at work every day, on time every day. Kid never had a driver's license. I said, you got 90 days, you're going to get your license. He went to class. He did everything he was supposed to do. Today, we cutting trees, we digging ditches, we culverts, all these moving parts. They had to tell him to go get the truck with a trailer to go dump something. And the kid, just inexperienced, not knowing how to back up a trailer, jackknifed the trailer, bent up the back of my truck. Now I'm crying because I was proud of that truck. But my point is, I don't even have the time to train our people the right way.
That's ridiculous.
So it's like, if I can get some help, and you hit the nail on the head, I can't say it, but it's us as a community. We got to do better. We got people, we got a council here that's fighting for y'all. I hear the Wesley street signs, Wesley trees over here, Wesley drainage over here, Wesley they got a pothole over here. I hear all of it, and I try to take care of all of it. And Steph, you said it 2 years ago, you can't do it all, but I try.
And I'm told you stop trying.
I can't, because I love y'all.
No, but let me tell you something. You got a job description.
Brad,
I got you.
You are a supervisor.
Brad, you have a question?
We don't have enough people,
Maybe
so I
a
work.
suggestion.
It's time to hire people.
We all right.
Find money to buy trucks and everything.
We all right. We all right. I don't need money. I just need some help.
Yeah, but you need money to hire people.
Wesley, regarding all the debris that's going into the ditches, Michael, do our ordinance have a provision about how debris, if it's not placed in the garbage container, or the parish's requirements for bulk waste pickup. Would you mind, if you get time, to look at the ordinance and see maybe how we could tweak it to
We
where?
we can address that. I know for sure we do have an ordinance that says you can't obstruct public drainage. So I mean, if you're actually placing your trash in the ditch or on the right of way or allowing it, they could possibly be guilty of obstructing drainage, which is an existing ordinance. But we can tweak our ordinance to make sure that any trash has to be in an acceptable receptacle. That, I mean, I think the parish ordinance is it has to be only of a certain length. If it's loose limbs, they have to be bundled and
Bundled.
tied.
Correct.
But,
but
you know, just like with a lot of this stuff, nobody does it. And then your option then is, well, then we're not gonna pick it up unless you do. Well, then if
Right.
you don't pick it up, you're just part of the problem. So it's a difficult thing to fix. One, you know, thinking outside of the box a little bit, one thing that might help with some of this is, you know, we're talking about adding some teeth to some of our ordinances with regards to junk and trash and grass cutting and all those types of things. And one avenue of doing that is having fines for all these deals.
Yes.
Well, you know, if we have criminal fines, and most of them do have the potential now even to have a misdemeanor fine, you know, we can encourage the court to sentence him to community service, or at least give him the option to perform community service, and we can get a trash detail together and start picking up some trash.
Because as Wesley and the mayor mentioned, it's not so much as people taking debris, it's cleaning out a house, mattresses, pillows,
Right.
towels, small utensils, and just dumping it on the side of the road with no intent of clogging the drain, but it ends up in there, you know?
And a lot of those you see, like you mentioned before, with rented properties, a lot of that is when they evict tenants and they leave their stuff there, they just throw everything to the street.
Yes.
Throw a quick kink into this that y'all coming up with, which I think is all great ideas. I have a couple of properties that I don't even put trash on the side of the road, but about every 3 or 4 days, I have a mountain of trash in that same spot. So apparently, the parish comes every, whatever it is, Thursday, and picks up right there. And the people in the neighborhood know that it gets picked up every Thursday. So that becomes the junk spot. And none of it is ever my junk. But I can pass every 3 or 4 days, and it's another pile of it. Tires. I've been called by the sheriff's department asking me if I've thrown 5-gallon cans of paint. I know better. But, so that's another kink in it. You're gonna find the property owner, but a lot of times it's not even our stuff. So, I don't know, that's a tough one.
All we gotta do, legal, let's adopt what Abbeville done. Trash out on your lawn, even if you leave your trash can, you got 1 day to get that trash can off the road. You got 2 days to clean up in front of your house, okay? Now, if you want to get physical with it, let's get physical with it, okay? You beat around the bush about this, that, and the other. In other words, the police officers, y'all ride around town all the time, right? They're going to see somebody putting up trash. Get them little stickers that you talking about for the junk cars or what have you. Well, put it on that trash. You got 24 hours to move this trash.
Step they used to, the parish, remember, they put a red tag on it.
Yeah, but they don't do it no more.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We need to get with the parish too.
Now, we need to take out, man, you know what the best thing we need to do back in the day? Get our own doggone trash pickup. That's what we need. Yeah, but I'm just saying.
Wesley already ain't got enough employees.
Hey, buddy. Yeah, but hey, you know what old saying, you eat elephant one bite at a time.
Well,
I'm just telling you.
I'm gonna say this, thank you very much, Wesley, I think we beat it to death.
All right.
And, we can get with Mr. Mike over here, and he can give some pointers, and we put it on his shoulders.
All right. I just want to end by saying, look, I know it was a lot, but I just don't want to get burned out. And right now, I'm just starting to get to the point. I got a good crew. I got some young guys. I got to teach them right. But for the most part, they all try and they all have a little bit of sense of pride. They might not know, and we can't afford to pay them, so we're not going to get the cream of the crop. But at least they care. At least they care. But right now, the way it is, I got in trouble last year on Northern. All the leaves, the yard men blew all the leaves in the road. And I told them, well, blow it back in their yards. And I got that phone call, we can't do that. But it's like, come on, if we back in the 70s, we got to take care of home first, and then everything else will pop. I promise y'all, if we don't have to spend the time picking up behind individuals, our workload, it'll get better. Eventually, you know, the mayor will give me some more equipment down the line next year, but we'll be all right. I just want to thank y'all. Any other questions?
Thank you. Thank you for taking pride.
No other questions. I'm gonna tell you, Wesley, like I told Mr. Marty, I appreciate your help, but we don't wanna burn you out. We need you too much, so. But anyway, we'll move on. And, under action items, okay. No action items present for the monthly engineers report to approve the street sweeper in the amount of $360,880.
Okay,
Contingent upon bond commission approval.
let's do away with number 2 and number 2 and number 3 are redundant.
Okay.
Just do away with number 2 and,
Well, I was reading it and I was thinking, he just wants to make a point. Okay.
it's redundant. It's redundant.
And we're desperate,
Yes,
you know, we need
yes.
to make that point. Okay, we go to
Let's do number 3.
We go to number 3, to approve a resolution authorizing the mayor, that's you, to approve the purchase and finance a street sweeper via installments, purchase agreement, lease purchase agreement, loan or other method authorized by the state law as provided by the State Bond Commission as necessary. I so move.
Second.
All in favor?
What?
Discussion.
Opposed?
Okay.
Any discussion? We don't need to discuss it.
Okay.
I mean, it's gonna.
Look, like I heard at the state capitol today, one of the legislators said, one of the chairmen of the committee, the legislator that was presenting his bill, he presented his bill, they went through all the discussion, for and against spoke, the whole 9 yards, and then he come back up, it was time for him to close on his bill, and the chairman said, you know, like a judge once told me, shut up, you're winning. So, but he said, you still can close on your bill if you want.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay, under. Oh,
Chair.
Vicky needs.
Okay, I guess I have 2 questions. Evidently, I'm sure this is going to be deferred to the Revenue
Right.
Finance Committee. Okay. And I see the amount is pretty specific, so I assume that you got quotes from somebody and that you worked.
Yes,
out.
so I worked with Lamatz and was able to get a contract on this particular one. And this contract would be for the city of Crowley, and then other cities would be able to piggyback off of it also, just as we can do on other cities. But yes, I went through Lamatz and got that process done already, so.
All right. Okay. Under discussion items, we are allowing J.D. Miller Street to be dedicated as Sid Wilson Memorial.
Okay, hold on, Mr. Dory. Call for the vote again because you called for it, but then we had some discussion, so, for number 3.
All right. All in favor of the resolution?
Number
Yes, I
3.
want to authorize the mayor to go forward with streets.
If you went through with that, I got to recuse myself.
Well, then do it.
That's what I'm asking.
I don't think so, but you can.
Oh, yes.
You can.
That's fine. We have Alderman Martin recused himself. So there we go. All right, all in favor? Opposed? Okay, motion passes. And then we had our discussion item. And I think that's it. We will recess.
The discussion item.
The resolution is on the second page. So, that's just a discussion item. Who, y'all want to discuss it?
Yeah, I want to discuss.
Well, go ahead.
Marty, you want to, go up, if you don't mind? Ladies and gentlemen, it came to my attention, doing some research.
Your microphone, Mr. Martin.
I had one of the little guys, he had asked me a while back about, the old ways of getting to New Orleans, and I told him the only way we can get to New Orleans back then, we had to take Highway 90, okay, or 190. He said, well, how did that long bridge come about? And we done some research on it. And I remember a while back, people were talking about, there was a crew from Crowley that used to drive over there, or whatever, because they would meet at the bus station and they would head to wherever they're at. And doing, talking to some people, it was Mr. Sid Wilson and Sons, Concrete. Okay, remember we had discussed that? So basically, and with no disrespect to anybody, we're not taking down J.D. Miller Street. We add just like we're done with Nelson Arsenault. Okay? All right, this is his story. All right, they were working on the same bridge that we take. If you're going, everybody take that. All right. So with that being said, I would like at our next meeting to make it, after a little research, make it an action item. And we'll do the same. And Marty, who has the new signs that John Pack, Orlando Thomas, and Nelson Arsenault? Is it at the Martin Luther King Center?
So I was going to ask you about that because the Arsenault family asked me to go ahead and put the signs up.
Right.
And my understanding is you have the Arsenault family signs.
No, I don't have anything. No, sir. No. They told me it was at the Martin Luther King Center. I think Wes had told me that, yeah.
The signs are at Martin Luther King Center? The Nelson J. Arsenault signs are at the Martin Luther King Center?
We had to take the.
Don't know
I
why.
about the Nelson Yes, we had to take the signs because you had a meeting going on, a town hall
Right.
meeting, and you told me to bring them, and I brought them and put them in the, I think they put them in.
You did have those signs at that meeting. You had them in your
I did not know
possession.
they were there. Man,
No,
if I
you-
would have known the signs
you
were there, I
showed
wouldn't
them.
have asked for them.
You showed them at
No,
that
I
meeting.
did not show no signs. No, sir, I did not. No, sir, I did not. No, sir. No, sir, I did not show no signs. No, sir, I did not. No,
Okay.
sir.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. No. Once again, if you hear anything about little old me, go ahead and believe it. It's time for me to go. I got my pocket. Well, let me
Oh.
do my thing.
Okay.
Okay. There you go.
Okay. Do we need to move this forward? No, just discussion. Okay. With all that being said, I would like to recess.
Thank you, sir. Utility Committee, Alderman Martin, please.
Tim Mater, Wastewater Superintendent, is he here? Okay. Tim Mater?
Thank you,
engineer?
Step. Yes, we have in Utility Committee 3 items that need council action. First one would be, if you look on page 11 of my report, give you a second to get there. Page 11 of my engineer's report, if you look in the left margin, there's a bold C. At that place is where the council action requested is. Above that in blue is the explanation of what we're doing. There are several phases of improvements, and all those phases are on the top part of that same page. They're indicated as funding source to be determined, and so that means we've got to begin to at least show some effort to DEQ that we are looking for and trying to determine how we will fund some of these improvements. We've looked for grants, we have some applications pending, but we need to be in a position, if we can't get grants, to show progress with DEQ in our quarterly reports. I want to mention that under the compliance order that we are dealing with DEQ, we have to make a report every April 15, July 15, October 15th, and January 15th of the previous 3 months, and they expect to see progress. This is the first time we've ever had to do this with DEQ. Before, we just kind of waited around, and if we weren't making progress with problems with the sewer system, Eventually, we got a compliance order, and then we had to get into possible fines, that kind of thing. What we're trying to do here by adopting this resolution is to authorize the mayor to submit an application to the Department of Environmental Quality's State Revolving Fund program. We're going to meet with the city's bonding attorney because we have to get the bond attorney involved if a loan is involved. But the first step is to approve this resolution that you have in front of you.
Do you have a number, how much we're gonna be looking for?
No, we're going to figure that out when we meet with the bond attorney to see what our bond capacity is.
Okay, good
And
enough.
compare that to these costs that are in 5A and 5B.
Well, I'll go and offer it as presented. Offered by myself, second, Dr. Marks, all in favor? Opposed, have the same right? Any discussion? All right, motion carried on that. All right, then.
Okay, the next item begins at the bottom of that same page, page 11. It is the renovate the existing duckweed pond with modular insulated cover. If you turn the page at the top, council action requested is to release the retainage to the contractor, Spinks Construction, in the amount of $89,299.86.
Offered as presented. Second. Offered and second. All in favor? Opposed, have the same right? Motion carried.
All right, next item is at the bottom of page 12. It begins there. Item 8, the annual MWPP, which is Municipal Water Pollution Prevention Audit and Resolution. You have a copy of the resolution there. We do this every year at this time. I can give you the long version of what this all means, or I can kind of give you a summary. The summary would be, if you look on page 13, you'll see that chart that I present every year to show how the performance of the whole system is reduced to a performance value. You can see we've been doing this actually since before 2007, 2008. We just ran out of room on the page, so we advance it every time we come up a new year. Right now, we're looking at the recent audit gave us a performance value of 103. You can see it's at the far right of that chart. It's in red, 2025 and 103. That number is calculated using this 16-page audit report. This is a form that DEQ requires us to use, and it evaluates, and real quickly, if you go to that audit report and go to page 16, the last page, you'll see that there are different ways they evaluate your sewer system. Part 1, influent flow loadings. Part 2, effluent quality, plant performance, the age of the system, overflows and bypasses, and so forth. This number that we arrive at should be kept low. Last year I kind of compared it to Chuck's golf game. You like a number that is low. A 0 is good. It means that you have no issues with the operation under that particular item. So we're at a 103. 103 compares well with past years. You see we got up as high as 169, 146. The lowering of that number is because improvements have been made over the years to minimize problems. But you can see what we just did was we passed a resolution to help us fund several things, one of which is to solve overflows and bypasses. If you look back on page 16, part 4, overflows and bypasses, half of that performance value is because we have overflows and bypasses. If we eliminate that number 103 would be lower than it's ever been. So I ask, with that said, unless you have questions, that you consider adopting the MWPP resolution.
Offered as presented.
Second.
Offered and second. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried.
That's all I have for council action and utilities. Yeah, step,
That's all, thank you.
if I may, step, we just.
Yeah,
took-
go ahead, go ahead,
We
go
just
ahead.
took care of 1, 2, and 3 action.
Okay, so we're good with action items?
Yeah.
Okay, under discussion items, there's none. Okay, with that, we recess.
All right, thank you, sir. Let's see, Recreation, Alderman Ashby, please.
I'll call the Recreation Committee to order. The quorum is present. Under reports, Recreation Director Brian Borrell, he's not here, so I will give his report. I'm definitely not him. I'm 12 inches shorter, 12 years younger. And it sounds like he got on Chat GPT to write this, because he's never sounded this smart. Just picking. Our junior high league finished on Thursday, 3/5/2026. It was very successful. We will calculate the final numbers and give them to council at the next committee meeting. Our city baseball leagues is taking shape. We conducted evaluations for all leagues. Last night, we selected teams for our 7 and 8U Boys and Girls League. Tonight, we will select teams for our 9, 10U Boys and Girls Leagues. We should have all of our league teams in place by Friday morning. Baseball Day is still on March 28th. Our league play will begin the week of April 13th. This will give teams the extra couple of weeks of practice, still giving us plenty of time to finish our league. We are currently seeking umpires, and we have a couple of teams without coaches. If anyone is interested, please contact us at the Crowley Recreation Department. The Tony Robichaux Sports Complex hosted a couple of 2D tournaments in the last 3 weeks. Last weekend, the rain did delay things and cause some issues, but we were able to work through those. Overall, the tournament appeared to be successful. We did some field maintenance on Miller. This work will improve the playing surface, which will help the life of the field. We also had to buy an AC, air condition, for the concession stand at Miller Stadium. At MLK Center, we continue to mow and clean up the baseball field there, as well as other maintenance work. The MLK Center continues to be open during the day for activities. On Monday evening, it continues to be open to skating for the children. We purchased a new professional heavy-duty style volleyball net to replace the damaged one we had there. If you ever been to a high school or college volleyball game, the setup at MLK is the same. A great addition for any upcoming volleyball play there. I apologize for not being there at the meeting tonight. So thank you, Brian, for the update. Next, we'll call City Engineer Tim Mater.
Nothing further.
Nothing. There are no action items, no discussion items, so we will close. Oh, go ahead.
Just speak to Brian on my way back. As you know, we do skating every Monday. Now, there's a room on the stage, you know, the one that the one, Chief, not where the microphone is. It's an empty room. And what we asked, and and those that participated in the bingo, it was all the same. It was man, everybody had a good time. We fed and we had our little meeting. But if we can use that room to start storing things, you see what I'm saying? Because if I run across something, I feel it would be a nice prize or what have you, I'll purchase it, and instead of cluttering up the little area I'm in now, I just bring it over there. So it'd be on site. And some of the food sometimes, Chief, I know to be leaving like cold drinks and stuff in there. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that anybody taking it, but if it disappears, I mean, it is what it is. So he said that I'm pretty sure you're going to get with you and the mayor. All we need is just that room, okay, just to keep our stuff into it. And so no one's using it right now. That's the reason why I'm asking. And if we have to put a nice ice box or something in there, I'll go ahead and purchase one and put in there. It would be no expense to the city.
Anything you need to say, Mayor, about that? I don't have.
It's all right.
I don't have any issues. I mean,
Okay.
if they're not using it, then yeah,
Right.
let's utilize it. I mean, it's
Right.
benefiting the people of Crowley.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. Anything else? Any other discussion, Wes?
I was waiting for this one. On behalf of us helping the recreation department, I know, Step, y'all been talking about that walking track for years at Martin Luther King Center.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna need somebody's help, probably you, Mr. Madar. We went and looked at a way to cut a ditch along that fence. In the backside of it is wooded area. I don't know where the property line at. If y'all can find out if I can cut them trees down going back to that canal, I'll figure out a way to get you a ditch to get the water to drain to the back.
School board owns that, I can tell you that now.
But the fence on the park curves and goes around, so I don't know if it's supposed to be an imaginary line straight through or what, but it's just wooded area. If y'all can get permission, I'll dig a ditch along the fence. Some of it'll go to the front, and I'll get the majority to go to the back. That'll be my way of helping, but in the process, since Brian's not here, at the Robo Show complex, they have that ditch that goes through. It's an open ditch that goes to the back. They asked for our help. There's conduit and stuff showing. I don't know who's the contractor that did it, so we need to find out who did the work to label that so we can get that. Because I can't just go dig and pull up stuff.
We need to put some wrap there. We need to put some crushed concrete, not crushed concrete.
I need to shape it first.
Some of,
then
yes,
put some, yeah.
some of the concrete that we been getting rid of.
But there's some
We need to keep
conduit
some
that's
of it.
sticking up, and they have some wires coming through, and I didn't want to touch it because I didn't want to disconnect anything. So if we can eliminate that, I'll put some dirt down, shape it up, and then put some rock for the erosion, and that'll be the other thing. Like I said, we're always trying to help one another.
Appreciate that. That walking track gonna go a long way, brother.
Well, I ain't building a track. I'm getting you some drainage.
Well, hey, look, hey.
So y'all okay with that?
It's all right.
We definitely need to discuss that ditch, only because the few times that I've been out there, it seems like kids are attracted. They're drawn into that ditch. And when we originally built those fields out there, there was just a swell.
Yeah.
It wasn't a ditch. And now where those conduits are running this far below the ground, it's at a kid's waist in that ditch. That's how deep that ditch has become. And I'm afraid someone's gonna get hurt, and the erosion is actually coming off the back of left field and eroding underneath the concrete and around that light pole. So, yeah, we definitely need to figure out something out there, so
Yeah, we
I'll call you.
Wesley and them have to get rid of concrete often, big chunks of concrete. So we just need to break it down into pieces that they can manage and then put it in there as erosion
Hey,
protection.
this is just my way of saying, look, I love y'all, but y'all gotta do your homework. I don't have time to do the homework. Just find out the utilities and get them fixed, and
What-
then we'll come do what we do.
What property line are you looking for at MLK?
It's the fence that separates Ross.
Southwest corner.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just wooded area in the back, even if we gotta get permission from the school to go through the
Okay.
trees, because there's some big trees, there's some small trees. I gotta be able to
Okay.
cut through the forest to get the drainage out of there. I'm not gonna put any pipe, I'm gonna just dig it like a swell and just let it go to the back, but we have to have permission, because there's no true boundary.
Okay.
Thank you. I'll call you. My wife does great homework. She'll just line me up and I'll call you.
Had a
Anything?
Yeah, I had-
Okay, go
had
ahead,
one
Brad.
question about, Wes, the driveway that comes into the MLK Center, from West Hutchinson, as you enter past the driveway that goes to the parking for the building, continue, down, is there across, I think from where the covered areas are, between the road, driveway and the railroad, there was a swale ditch for years, and the water's accumulating on the, and it's kind of deteriorating that concrete dry. Is there a ditch along the railroad that we could tie that drainage to,
Well,
with a swale ditch?
the mayor and I went out there last year and did a little bit of maintenance, but they got a ditch way in the back, but along the railroad track, there is a swell.
Yeah.
And Chuck, you're gonna know what I'm talking about. It's getting better because the wreck is starting to cut all the way up to the tracks.
Right.
It was holding water because they was letting the grass go too long.
Yeah, because that
But
water
it's
does
getting better.
accumulate. But I'm just wondering if we could find
Yeah,
the
we-
lowest spot.
We just need to cut, we need to cut
Just-
the grass and dirt and stuff over the years have kind of filled up the swell right there.
It's built up.
From the
Can't do it-
concrete driveway
We
to
can't do
the
anything right there right
tracks.
now, cause the railroad just hauled some, material and they finna train some tracks and stuff.
Okay.
Soon as they out the way,
Right.
whenever I go do the ditch on the fence side,
Yes.
I'm gonna address
If you
that.
can just catch that. Thank you.
I keep wanting to mention that when I see it, and then it's either at night or weekend or something, and I try not to call Wesley on weekends
Oh,
and
that is
nights.
what it is.
But, thank you for bringing that up.
All right, yeah.
All right, so one bad and two good things from the park so far is that we had to turn the lights on a little bit early for the last two tournaments, which we weren't on top of it. They had to call and let us know to turn the lights on, which is no big deal. But the one prop that I do want to give somebody is that we switched, and not that I'm knocking the previous person, but we switched concessions this year, and 2D has bragged, the ones that throw the tournaments has really bragged about the new concession owners and the food, how good the food is. So I want to give them their props. That's not a friend of mine, nothing, just they're doing a good job. And the second thing, I already forgot. That's how bad my memory is. The second thing was, yeah, I'm gonna think about it during another committee, and then I'll bring it back up, but, the two, go ahead, Dickie.
I noticed that the last couple of months, the fence in the parking lot at the rec center, next to where the green space where they usually play t-ball, has been damaged on that corner. Is that gonna be repaired, man? Okay.
Yeah, Neil Daly already gave me the lowdown on that. If you know Neil, you know you can't have a 5-minute conversation. But Neil said he's gonna make it kind of at an angled corner there, so it doesn't get so close to the parking lot. Somebody obviously parked too close, or maybe backed into the space and backed into it. There's no cameras there to see what happened, but you're right, it is damaged, so, but it is planned to be repaired, yes, sir.
Any other questions? I still hadn't thought of it. All right, we close.
I will say this, I will have a camera going up right there on, Mill and Western. There are plans to cover that little parking lot that does face that ballpark on the side. Oh, I'm not sure what you even call that little area right there, but one camera will face the ballpark parking lot right there. When you come from, Western and you were to continue straight that little parking lot right there, we do plan on putting one camera facing that parking lot also.
Thank you, sir. Zoning annexation, Alderman Reggie, please.
Thank you. Zoning Annexation Committee will convene. I do have a quorum. Chuck, you thought about it? No? Okay. We'll start with, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Sam. On page 14 is the action item that I have in Zoning and Annexation Committee. It is the drainage project for Lawrence Acres and VFW Drive. I would like you to consider approving partial payment estimate number 4 to Cody Construction in the amount of $325,181.12. They are 78% complete. If you want to know where they are, they're right behind Karchner's now. They have maybe a football length of pipe to install to get to Broadacres. And when they get to Broadacres, it's done.
Oh,
Offered by Mr. Martin. I'll go ahead and second that.
you
Any
can
more?
reverse it, Sharon. I'll second. You go ahead and offer, I'll second.
Either way, it's fine. Any, discussion for this? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Anything else, Mr. Mayor?
Chuck, yet?
No, not yet.
I have nothing else.
Yeah, he'll think about it later. Anything else for zoning and annexation? I will recess.
Thank you, sir. Public Buildings, Alderman Wilridge, please, sir.
Public Buildings Committee, we had a quorum. On the reports, there was none. On the action items, there was none. Is there any discussion items? There being none, so we
Thank you, sir. Insurance and Personnel, Alderwoman Marks, please.
Thank you, Mayor. The Insurance and Personnel Committee does have a quorum. There's no reports at this time. There's no action items. Is there any discussion? Anyone want to bring anything up? Chuck? Okay.
It's gone.
No further discussion?
Well, I just want to mention, Chair, that the W-2 forms for all the city employees have gone out. And I know there was concern with the police department, a few employees didn't get theirs on time, but that was, they got all taken care of.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Brad. Yes, that was corrected, and they went out in a timely fashion.
Yeah, just to clear that up, it was corrected W-2s, not the original W-2s. The original W-2s went out on time. The police and fire both get supplemental pay, and there was a issue with the software and how things were set up, and that pay was not on that W-2, so they had to get an updated W-2 for that. So, and that has been, yes, that has been done.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thanks, Mayor. Thanks, Brad. That was corrected. And Chuck has his thought back.
It just blew up. The one thing that I'm happy about that I can proudly say is that from the first year I came on, I talked about getting the alumni tournaments back in Crowley. Chad and I met last week with Crowley High, and they have moved their alumni tournament back to Crowley instead of Rain. We got the approval done. The new people that are doing the concessions, turn the concessions over to them so they could make the money during the tournaments. They're going to provide, they have an alcohol license, so they're going to provide alcohol through a temporary license.
Beer sales, yeah.
And now we're going to go to Notre Dame. We're going to try to get all of our local teams back in Crowley playing the alumni tournament here. So that was the other thing
And
that I
that
wanted to
contract
say.
is also going to donate a portion of the proceeds of the beer sales to
Back
the
to
alumni.
Crowley High. Yep. So,
Excellent. Thank you, Chuck, for that information. That's great. Any further discussion? Anyone else have a thought process going on? If not, the committee recesses.
Thank you, ma'am. Revenue and Finance, Alderman Lachele, please, sir.
Testing, 1, 2, okay.
I bought a whole system, what we got right here, for the Martin Luther King Center. But the problem is, the technology is not the same thing you got here. I think that system costs about maybe $1,300, just sitting there at an office. Want to use it, whoever, these things is trash, right?
You finished, Councilman? Finished? Thank you. Okay, Revenue Finance Committee convenes. We have a quorum present. On the action items, we had a deferral from the Public Works Committee, which was approved, to approve the purchase of a street sweeper in the amount up to $360,880, contingent on the bond commission approval, and I so move.
Okay,
Ready first?
Mr. Landry, are we okay with that? We did the resolution in the committee. This is the Revenue and Finance approving the expenditure.
For the money.
So we can do number 1 and not number 2 on this one? Okay.
Sounds good, yep, okay, all right. Okay, we had a motion and a second. Any comments, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed. There's no discussion items with no further business to come before the committee recess.
Thank you, sir. Any questions, concerns, anybody? Ladies, are y'all okay? They didn't want to, they don't have anything to say. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for being here.